Hi everybody, good morning. This is day 289 days since Richard vanished from the barracks right there on Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. But he didn't just vanish because he was under the noses, he was under the care, he was under the protection of his unit, his command, No Soldier Left Behind, Operation People First, Esprit de Corps, Army Strong, right there at Fort Bliss. And there is no evidence to this day, over 60 subpoenas and warrants, that Richard ever left Fort Bliss. So what happened to him? He didn't just vanish. And if the Army can find Saddam Hussein, if the Army can find our so-called enemies, they can't find a soldier, that there's no evidence that he ever left Fort Bliss, that means he's on Fort Bliss. Or he was abducted. Or he escaped all the cameras and crossed into Mexico and escaped all the cameras there. We have a timestamp of him on the 28th of March going over to the bridge, getting into the traffic pattern of construction, the construction traffic pattern that leads you to the Bridge of Americas. And they got Richard's license plate, which was a paper license plate because it was a new vehicle. And he had just bought a rifle the day before, wanted to go out. I think that he was given permission. Hey, I want to take a drive. We've been in the field. I just bought a weapon. I'm not going to be near anybody. Who gave him permission? Because we were told that the shelter in place from the command order was very, very loose indeed, very loose. So loose, even the general order, they were bringing in people to party in the shelter-in-place barracks that were flooded with weapons. So this is from high sources, y'all. So it's not something that I question. I know that if they told me that, this is from high sources, that this is the truth. So wowzer. So we have been talking because we know that Richard just didn't vanish. Something happened, especially when they've tried to discredit, like the soldier that was seen with Richard's credit card. They've debunked that. They say that never happened. But silence is starting to break. Silence is starting to break, y'all. And we're getting more and more information in. And we have a better picture of what has happened. And because we have this better picture, and we were discussing it last night and early this morning, and praying about it, we decided to match and try to really raise right now the start of it, the first step of the reward money. Just went up from $35,000 to $50,000. So $25,000 being from the Army, $25,000 being from Team Find Richard Halliday. So that's going to be the start of that reward money, because the silence is breaking. So we feel like this will be just another way to get that silence to break even more, to crash it down, to really crash down this wall of what do I want to say? Fill in the blanks, y'all. Those that have been following us from early on, you fill in the blanks for me. Because this has been really bad. Really bad. Very bad responses. And you see that it's so bad that the CID is in a shakeup right now. Rob has said from the beginning and right to their faces in the meetings that the CID does not know how to look for a missing person. That the Army doesn't know how to look for a missing person. They don't look for missing people. And even the first sergeant wrote me, I have a screenshot. The Army does not actively look for a missing soldier, an AWOL soldier. They automatically designate them as AWOL. They don't look for them. But times have changed. And we have a soup sandwich, y'all. A soup sandwich. Leadership that we cannot trust because of the insanity that they lockstep to. I remember at the very beginning of this, when this did not jive with Rob as a physician assistant in the early 2020 panic mode. And Rob was like, this doesn't jive. This doesn't jive. This is not real, you know. We started looking. We started looking for a cure. We wanted a cure. We wanted to protect our family. We wanted to protect our friends, all of our loved ones. So we started researching, definitely, because 2 of our family members lost their jobs. It was really a mess. It was really a mess. We saw what was happening to the world, and it didn't jive. There were so many other things going on, so many calls for this, and then also even a movie script, a movie script, or like a show script. I should post that up. I think it's banned now. Maybe I'll try to find a banned version and put up the link, and I'll put .com or something so that y'all can look. I don't know. There's so many banned things right now. But it was just so bizarre that we started searching. And now with us needing to fly again, we need to go and see. I haven't even seen our grandbaby down in Florida. I haven't even seen him. I want to see him. Rob V, I love you. I see you on video. It's not the same. It's not the same. Gigi wants to see her grandbaby. And then I have 2 more grandbabies in South Korea now. I want to go there. But I'm hearing that the airlines are really looking into this. If, you know, the problem with blood clotting. And, you know, I looked at all the research during that time with Rob, and there was a lot of issues with blood clotting. There was a doctor that was very interesting. And I'm going to connect this with Richard just a minute. Just bear with me on all of this. But I was looking at all the blood clotting problems, because in Italy, when they happens to take an autopsy, what they found was blood clotting. And that was what was killing people, was this blood clotting. And, you know, I've watched enough South Korean dramas to know, boom, instantly it was like, oh, that's cyanide. Blood clotting is cyanide, right? Or something like cyanide. Okay, it's a poison. Boom, boom, boom. So cyanide comes from, another thing too is that book, The Odyssey. You know, they go to the island and they have the lotus flower, and the lotus flower just kind of entrances you and hypnotizes you to go along with everything, to stay there, to stay sheltered, you know. And I'm like, oh, wow, you know, this is so fascinating. Not that I'm saying this is what this is. I'm just saying, you know, there was this journey. There was this journey. And during that journey, I'm talking on the phone with Richard. We're talking on the phone with Richard during this whole journey. And so, you know, it's so fascinating that you want to talk about it. And I know that all of my, like, Misi site people, all of the news sites that I follow, everybody was talking about this, trying to figure out what this is, right? Of course, they were getting banned and censored, but everyone was talking about this. Everybody, right? But of course, then they wanted you to go like this so you wouldn't talk about it because it's so fascinating. What is this? What should we do? What should we do? What, you know, just the communication, the communion between the people, because that was so important at the time, because it was so interesting. Everybody wanted to know. Everyone saw what was on the TV. Everybody was hearing this, and then the PPE and blah, 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 and yeah. You know, the testing, everybody wanted to talk about this. So, of course, when we got on the phone with Richard, we were talking about this. Of course we were. And, you know, it seemed like that wasn't allowed to come to a table and discuss things. You know, and Ireland has been very shut down. And it did not surprise me one bit that Ireland was shut down. Because the Irish, they really love to talk about things. They love to hash things out, and they have thick skin. They have very thick skin, so they love to go to the pub and hash things out. They love it. Over a pint, oh, it's so much fun. Religious things, political things, contagious things, the contagion myth, the germ theory trash, you know, whatever. They like to hash it all out. And so it was really interesting that everything got closed down there. I wasn't surprised, because if you have to stop people from talking, you want to stop the people that saved civilization during the other plague. Because when everything was, the plague was going through Europe, it was the chaos through Europe. It was the Irish that saved the documents, stored the documents, for faith to come back alive, for that spark that we need to start the fire of the Holy Spirit through the world again. You know, I really truly believe God used them. I do. So it's really, that's why St. Patrick is so important in my life, because he prepared. He was the first step. He was preparing. God used him to prepare the Irish for the work that they would have to do for God, for the glory of God. And I really hope that the Irish realize that now. And I hope that they wake up, and I hope that they get on that same path to glorify God in all what they do. Because it was just really remarkable what they did. So we were talking about, and of course, you know, Richard, when he was the honor graduate, it said from Longford, Ireland, he was very proud to represent Longford, Ireland. And so, and you know, of course, living in Ireland, he hashed it out, or he was pretty quiet and listened to people hash it out at the dojo, at wherever we went, friends' houses and things. And so, did he have an opposite view? Or did he want to have an opposite view than the lockstepping that's not allowed to not lockstep with? Did he not want to lockstep? This looks very interesting. I'm not saying it's what happened, but as a mom, knowing, looking back, did they want to shut him up? Did they want to shut him up and it went wrong? Did they want to shut him up with a scuffle? I don't know. Did it go wrong? I don't know. Did he end up in Juarez in uniform because of a scuffle? Because, you know, the silence is breaking, y'all. They like to duct tape each other. They like to duct tape each other to chairs. They like to duct tape each other's feet together. Is that true? I hope that that's not true. I hope that what I'm saying is not true. But the silence is breaking. And so would they somehow take him to Juarez? Because the other very, very important topic for our discussion for raising the reward money, because we raised it from $35,000 to $50,000, and we're going to be on a campaign to break the silence even more. Break the silence. And the very important topic is Dollar General Man. He is the key. He is the key to this. Because he was not on some kind of agenda going into Dollar General. He lives in that area. He lives in that area. He wasn't, he had no knowledge of Richard as far as on a personal basis. He had no hatred for Richard on a personal basis. He didn't, that was not him at all. He wasn't Richard's first sergeants. He wasn't Richard's captain. He wasn't Richard's unit members. He did not know Richard. There was no invested retaliation or whatever that you could say that he was being mean and saying, take down those flyers. He didn't say it like that. He said, you can take down the flyers. Now, with Loose Lips Lieutenant Colonel Mann, maybe he was trying to protect him. I don't know. But I think he's the key, because I think he spoke truth to power. I did. Because he's not a wimpy guy. He's a powerful guy. 58 years old, power, businessman, educated, well-connected, very well-connected. So well-connected that he's connected to a Lieutenant Colonel Man that has loose lips, that would have top secret clearance to information about Richard. So, I think he's the key. I know that they said that they discredited him because he posed as an FBI agent. But, he never got in trouble for that. So, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. He never got in trouble for that. He even told me that he would want to help me find Richard. And I think in his way, he did the most, because he was the most forthright. He didn't do it for the money. He had no reason to do it for the money. He has a very successful business, very successful family. Yeah. Interesting record, but I just think that sometimes people can be wrongfully accused, especially of that. No, I think he's a man of faith, and so I think he's the key to all of this. And the more that I know, remember what he said. We were looking for Richard in Mexico, in Juarez. We found him. Bad news, he's dead. The way he said that, I have the video, y'all. I have the video. I have the testimony from the cashier less than an hour after she had spoken to him. He's the key. He's the key. Because, now, that's what I think. That's what I think. I have, Rob and I, we have been following this so carefully through all the calls, all the angles, from lower enlisted to the officer corps to Mexico, talking to officials, talking to everybody. We know that there has been, when you're talking to so many people, some people want to take advantage. We know that. But we will not burn down the house to get rid of a mouse, you know? We don't want to burn down the house to get rid of a mouse. I think that's an important lesson, that you have to stay focused on looking for Richard, and you'll have a lot of people in your ears telling you that you're not looking for Richard, that what you're doing is not right, but they only have a little piece of the story. You see, they only have a little piece, a little view. They see a facet of the diamond. Okay? We're trying to look at through every facet, and we've looked through quite a few of them, been involved in quite a few of them. Are there some that are still silent or still hidden? Absolutely. Absolutely. But we've talked to Jane Doe several times. We know that story. We took video. I have video of her giving her testimony, the cashier testimony. I've talked to people after people after people, 4 to 6 rallies a week for months. I've talked to people, rallies in Juarez. I was not afraid to go over there. I should have went over there sooner. But you have people that stop you see, that put a stone, instead of saying, look, go over there. We have the State Department over there. You can call our agent over there. You can call the ministeriales. We'll have them be with you while you're over there. But that didn't happen, y'all. That didn't happen. Did Richard wind up? How are they going to recover if this is true? Because I have one Team Find Richard Halliday, the #1 member, Team Find Richard Halliday, that asked the most, that made the incredible statement. That was one of the huge reasons why this morning we said, yes, we have to raise the reward. We'll have to find a way. Because we also have 3 other children that we, blessed is the man that leaves an inheritance for his children. So, but her point of view is very valuable to us. And she made this statement: how is the Army going to recover if indeed Richard was found in Juarez in uniform, shot and killed, and maybe thrown into this smelly, nasty, disgusting hog pen? I mean, we had horrific murder at Fort Hood and Killeen and going towards Temple. I went to Temple High School. I know that area. I was married at Fort Hood. I had Hannah in Killeen. I taught school in Killeen. I understand the area. We had a horrendous murder there. Nothing's off the table, y'all. After that murder, nothing is off the table that can happen from within our military. We have a toxic culture that has accumulated so much because of silence. because of silence, y'all. Because we didn't want to risk shaking anything up. We didn't want to risk throwing that first stone. We didn't want to risk it to break the silence. And I'm not saying to throw stones. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to break the silence. We didn't want to. We're very proud of our country. We're very proud of our servicemen and women. Very proud of them. But they're in danger, y'all. They're in danger. They've been in danger for a long time. We have so many victims. It's time to take a stand for them. It's time to break the silence. Clean this mess up so we can be proud again. So we can have good quality leadership. And that we could trust that our volunteer sons and daughters serve honorably for honorable causes. For too long, they've been taken advantage of. We have so many maimed soldiers. Rob was shot at for playing the bagpipes. Yes, Rob plays the bagpipes. But he went to a funeral there in Iraq. And he said that was the most dangerous thing that he did, is go outside of that green zone for a funeral. It's craziness. For too long they've been taken advantage of. For evil purposes, I believe very evil purposes. And how are they going to recover? And I'm not saying recover like in this life. I'm talking about, yes, in this life. Okay, in this life. Because I woke up with Molly on my mind. If you haven't seen that documentary, watch Molly. Because it's the guilt of not, just paying lip service to God, but not doing what you know is right. And it was eating at him. And I love that movie right now, that documentary, this true story of this amazing servant of God. Amazing. And because I'm a post-millennialist, okay, I don't know if you guys know what that is, but Privileged Planet person, okay, and when I saw this documentary and what he accomplished, it was like, this is what mustard seeds can do. They can accomplish greater things than what we could ever imagine. So, it's a step out in faith. It's a step out in faith. It helped how to decide. It didn't take a second to decide what to do with my dad. It was like, bring him home. These institutions are so broken and so insane with the greed of the ambulance down in the valley, with the greed of the trashy germ theory. Very profitable, so it just creates so much greed that what do you do when you make $1 billion a day? What do? You can own media. You can put out any commercial you want. You can buy any hospital you want. On and on and on and on. So, yeah, it's all, faith is believing in things that you just can't see. You can't see the stars that fought against Sisera. You can't see that actually happening, that them fighting it. You can't see them actually fighting evil. But indeed, that's what's happening. And you might not see all the mustard seeds sprouting, but indeed, that's what's happening. People are getting empowered. The silence is breaking. So we're getting in all this information that we get a good picture of what happens. It's giving us confidence that we can say, look, 50,000 for information, up to 50,000 for information leading. Because I don't, 25,000 of it is from the Army. So up to 50,000 for information leading to finding Richard. Because if they found him, he's dead, then they know where he's at. And the unit knows. And the Army, we have petitioned them and asked them to raise their 25 up to 50,000, and they've refused us. Crickets. That's refusal. Crickets. So I've put up that petition, and I hope that you sign it, that the Army does raise it to 50,000. Let's get it up to 75,000 then. Maybe we can start a fundraiser to get to meet them. This is how we're going to get some people's attention in Mexico and also here. So, did Richard have a different viewpoint? Absolutely, 100%. He was the antithesis of this lockstep, y'all. And that's why I tell you all of this. He was the antithesis. Did he call them out as insane? As insane? Is this as an insane, tyrannical move against our country? I don't know. Did they silence him for that? I don't know. But I know that he just didn't vanish out of the barracks. And I know all the things that they tried to paint him as. It's not true. It's been debunked. And we were talking to him the whole time. How many people felt the same way as him, but decided to lockstep after they saw what happened to him? 3 ranks? For what? And then we get Darth Vader's letter saying there wasn't significant evidence for blah, 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 paragraphs of stuff about illegal weapons. Why did he even mention it if there was no significant evidence, if that wasn't his presupposition to destroy him systematically? Make his field grade Article 15, recommended anyway, because it came from the Lieutenant Colonel, make that recommendation to give Richard a field grade Article 15, because a field grade Article 15 has a lot more punishment to it. They can really destroy him with that compared to the company grade. Look it up. Company grade. Maybe I should post that. Company grade versus field grade. So they wanted to weaponize the tools that they have to shut him up. That's my opinion. Because Richard did not have the same political views to lockstep. And he had a faith, a very systematic faith. He had a deep knowledge, a privileged planet knowledge, a Wycliffe knowledge, a Knox knowledge, a Cromwell knowledge, a Puritan's garden knowledge. And you know how hated the Puritans are. Oh my gosh, they're so hated. They're so, they've been so lambasted, and people don't even know who they are. But he had a George Washington knowledge. He had a Robert E. Lee knowledge. He had a Robert the Bruce knowledge and a William Wallace knowledge. These great men. He knew the siege of Malta. He knew what it took for the Knights of St. John to defeat the fleet that was huge. They were so outnumbered, and yet they defeated that fleet. He knew that. He knew The Spy, which is a very old book that was recommended by Otto Scott. We read that. We read that together. The reason why we read that was to improve our English, because the descriptions and the sentences. Have you ever read a sentence that was a paragraph long? You need to up your ante when it comes to education, and that's what we did. Read The Spy. Old book, not a new book. Matter of fact, I need to go get that out and give you the author. So when that statement came out yesterday, Rob says, whoa, this is a very credible writer, very trusted person. He's writing that. I posted it up. Yeah, read it. So we decided to raise a reward to $50,000, 25 from Team Find Richard Halliday and 25,000 from the Army, so they say. And I hope they do. I hope they come to their senses. What is the antidote for insanity? What is it? Confession. Confession is the cure of souls, y'all. They need to confess to leave the insanity that they have decided to lockstep and goose-step in, and get back to esprit de corps, truly Operation People First, and truly Army Strong, truly Operation Good Shepherd, truly do their duty to protect the Constitution and our Bill of Rights. The cure of souls is to break the silence. It's to break the silence. That's the cure of souls. Confession. So all of the things that I said in this video are my opinion. They're what I think. And I'm ready to be proven wrong. I'm open-minded. But after 289 days of very careful analysis, I stand here and say the unit knows. And I believe that they have found Richard. I believe that. But everything I say is my opinion. I'm ready to be proved wrong. Okay, y'all, sign all those petitions. You can go to Go Petition. It's much easier to do it on a laptop or your desktop. Go Petition, and then just search Richard Halliday and sign them. Break the silence. What is it going to take for us to leave this insanity? Confession. And one way to confess is sign those petitions. God bless you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.